We've got former Labor advisor and Watson Consultants founding partner Darrin Barnett with us now. Darrin, the GDP number this week, Fiona and I have just been discussing it at length, and it is anemic at best, really problematic in terms of how soft the economy is, but there's no guarantee that translates to a rate cut before the election. So this remains a tough one for the government to try and navigate. Are they vulnerable to criticisms on the workplace relations front, as Fiona's just been arguing?
I think, look, anyone who has criticism via the front page of the paper has some validity in their case, but equally, I think the big miners have been doing okay, and I don't think we've seen any sort of catastrophic result of IR changes so far. And I'd be surprised if we do see similar things into the future. But part of the job of government, particularly federal government, is managing all stakeholders. So they'll need to have a sit down with BHP and others and try to make sure that basically you've got to calm the horses before the election. So you campaign and fight on the fronts that you want to fight on. And IR is not something that I don't think Labor wants to be front and centre. And when it comes to rate cuts, I think it's actually quite fascinating now that we're looking at a scenario whereby the government would probably want a rate cut, if not two, but equally, if it's not going to happen until May, it probably brings forward the likelihood of calling the election as early as Australia Day for March or April. And I think if the Morrison government taught us anything, I'm not sure that those extra 3 months that he waited helped him at the polls. So it's going to be a really interesting summer, see what happens with retail spending through Christmas, and the pressure will be on for the government to make that call. But I think the chances of an earlier election are actually increasing rather than diminishing.
Yes, indeed, because who knows where the economy goes. Darrin, before I wrap up with you both, I spoke to Fiona as well about the Teal seats. The opposition leader's been up there in the northern beaches of Sydney. I know, Darrin, you live in one of the Teal seats, that being Wentworth. What's your read on whether those independents can secure re-election?
Look, Allegra Spender's got a lot of advertising, outdoor advertising, as well as every time I look onto Facebook or Instagram, there's an Allegra ad. So they're using a similar strategy in terms of advertising as last time. The redistribution helps Allegra. Equally, I think there are some concerns in the Jewish community about I think that the Liberal Party are much stronger as pro-Israel. I think Allegra, whilst being a supporter of Israel, has been a little bit more even in some of her commentary. Not sure how that will play out. Northern Beaches, I think the Liberals forgetting to hand in their homework and nominate for Northern Beaches Council is going to cost them big time. And Rory Amon not being being excluded from the Parliament. There's no representation north of the harbour. It's all Teals at state and federal level. You've got Michael Regan, Jackie Scrooby, and the two federal. The interesting one's going to be Paul Fletcher's seat. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's going to be a contest. And as far as I know, Kylie Tink hasn't declared what she's likely to do. So I know there's another independent who's active up there, but the Teals are going to be fascinating. I think they'll hold their Sydney seats. Beyond that, I'm not so sure.
Darrin Barnett and Fiona Scott, great to see you both. Thank you.